Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our new video. Today we are all going to talk about Python packages and built-in functions. So what are Python packages and built-in functions? Python packages, as we all know about modules are like subprograms that help us to break down a large program into subprograms, which means if you are having a large program, subprograms will permit us to structure our program. So those subprograms are known as modules. And on the other side, packages functions the same way as modules, but packages will be like sub modules. It will permit us to avoid collisions between modules, while modules permit us to avoid collision between global variables. Now, what are built-in functions? In Python, built-in functions are predefined function that comes with the Python language directly, which can help users to perform some common tasks. So we can simply say that built-in functions are readily available for Python users. And in this video, we are all going to know in details about Python packages and built-in functions. So the first built-in function that we'll be talking about is the direction built-in function, which is denoted by GIR, that takes in as attribute an object and return that takes in as parameter as an object and return the attribute of the object entered as parameter. So we will try it on the console and see. We will declare a variable and give it a name as string. Let's say rob. And now to have all the attribute of our name rob, which is in the variable name, you will try to retrieve the direction of our name, that is using the built-in function that, and give as parameter. Here they're asking us the direction of an object. So here is the object that we have created, and so to have the direction of the object, which is a string, we will enter the name, which is the object, and pop, we are having all the attribute of the built-in function, all the attributes. So we have all the attribute of the object name, which is a string. These are all the attributes here. So that is all about the GIR built-in function. So it takes in an object and return the attribute of that object. The next built-in function that we'll be talking about is the float built-in function, which returns a floating point number from an integer of string. We'll demonstrate it here on the console. So if we declare, let's say, an integer of string x is equals to 1, here 1 is an integer of string, because when you put a value into quote, it represents a string. We can still test by using the function type, Python function type, to see which type is the value 1 stored in the variable x. So you pass it type of the object or name or basis or in dictionary. So we take the type of our object. As you earlier said, in Python, as Python is an object-oriented programming, everything is seen as an object. only those built-in functions that we are talking about, like gir and the float. So here, if you want to know the type of our object name, we will pass it through this function type and pass the object inside as parameter, and here they tell us the class is a string. So as we were talking about the float built-in function, now as one is an integer or string, if you want to know the float, if you want to return it as a float, we use the built-in function float and we pass x. Ali, we have 1.0, so we are already having our float. That is all about the float built-in function. So it takes in an object, depends, can be an integer or string, and bring it back and returns the floating point and return the float of that object. The next built-in function that we'll be talking about here. So here we are all illustrating the useful built-in function in Python. The next one is the int, which is a built-in function that returns an integer from a float of string. So if you see very well, the int is the reverse, it's like the reverse of the float. So we demonstrate it here. We will use the same x that we have declared, which is 1. So if you want the in part of our x, you simply make int, use the built-in function int x, and it will give us the integer part of x. It's like we can still declare x equals to 1.0, and now as here s the type, you can see the type of x, type x. Here type x is a float. So if you want to return an integer, you will use the int function, built-in function, and pass in x, and we are having our integer. So here we have declared x as a float, and we return the int function, built-in function, return x as an integer. So that is all about int function. You can try with different examples. The next useful one, built-in function here that we have is the length. The length built-in function returns the length of an object. Here we will be only talking about objects. So Python is an object-oriented language. That's the reason why everywhere you can hear object. So the length built-in function will return the length of an object. Let's say we write name is equals to Clement. This is Clement is in our object name. And now if you want to know the length of Clement, you will use the length of Clement. You use the name, the built-in function length to know the length of the name Clement. So length, and pass in as parameter our name, which is the object. So the length of our object name is 7. You can count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can still try with another example. Name is equals to let's say Rob. It's a string. Name is equals to Rob, and you come. The length of our name will be 3. 1, 2, 3. So you can make fun of the built-in function. So the next built-in function that we have here is so we can still try with another example. Like example, we can take a list. You can declare like x is equals to, let's say x is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's close. And now if you want to know the length of this object, you simply use length of x. The length of x is 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This is all about the length built-in function. The next useful built-in function that we will be talking about here is the max built-in function. As we all know, the max is the maximum, so it will give us the maximum value from the argument provided. The maximum value from the argument provided. So let's say from our object name, object x here, we are having 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to know the max of the element found in the object x, you only write max of x, and here you directly take 4 as the max, which is true. Logically, you see 1, 2, 3, 1 is less than 2, 2 is less than 3, and 3 is less than 4, so the max is 4. We can still try with another example. We change the content of x. Let's say x is equals to 1, 20, 40, 3, 25, and let's say and 9, and we close. Now the max of our object x will be equals to 40, which is true. 40 is greater than 25, greater than 20, so it's true. We are having so many built-in functions, but we will be listing the useful one, and if you need to practice all of them, I will leave a link in the description where you can go and find all the built-in functions found in Python. So let's continue. The next built-in function here is list. The built-in function list create a list from an argument given. So let's say we create a variable object name, which takes let's say Rob. Now if you want to create a list from this object, we just use the built-in function list, and we pass in as parameter our name, which is the object. And now we created a list from the built-in function list, which take as parameter the object name, which is Rob, and separated it as a list. We continue with the next built-in function, which is min. We have earlier talked about max, which take the max between the max of numbers or strings in a list. Now we talk about the min, which means it will take the minimum, so the reverse of the max. Let's say min of the x that we use here up, our x where you're having in the list 1, 20, 40, 3, 25, 9. If you want to know the minimum, you use the min built-in function and you pass as parameter x, and logically we know that the min will be 1, so which is true, the min of x is 1. We're having so many built-in functions in Python, so you listen them throughout. The next one is print. So the print built-in function print the object to the text string. For example, if we let's say we use our same x that we are having here, which is a list of numbers of integers, so we can print the same list, so as a text string. Let's use the built function print on the console and we pass in as parameter x. So we are having the list, so it prints the list string, the text string instead, the text string of our variable x, which is a list. Earlier here it was a list and now we printed it as a text string. The next built-in function will be here. We are all listing useful built-in function because we are having so many built-in functions in Python. So we are given the most important one that we use throughout this course. The next one is round. Yes, round. The round built-in function, it round the number to a specific precision. Like let's say we are having y minus 1.45 1.453 y is equals to, instead y is equals to 1.45, let's say 3. And now if you want to round our object y, which we have declared to take in 1.453, the floating point. So if you want to round it, as earlier said, the round built-in function round up depends on the precision. So if you use round round y, or y the variable, and now here is even written here. Python is helping us round the number and the digit, so the precision, let's say to 2. Now I've seen our y was having 3 decimal places, 3 values after the decimal place. Now we rounded it to 2. So this is the round built-in function. The next built-in function here will be which is the last but not the least. So we use the absolute built-in function, which returns the absolute value of a numeric value passed in. Let's say we declare another variable z, which is still an object. Z equals to negative 29. Now if you want to have the absolute value of this object, which is z, we will use the absolute built-in function, which is denoted as abs, and we pass in as parameter our variable z. And now you see, so the absolute value of minus 29 is 29. So our built-in function is true. So we are having so many built-in functions, but we will stop here for the purpose of this video. And if you want to practice, I will leave, as I said, in the description a link where you go and check in the Python site all the built-in functions that are used. Here we have only listed some main or useful built-in function. So see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like.